Alright, BobalosRex here. And today's lore rant is the final of my what if expansions, or, well, I don't know, that's not what I've been calling them, but my fake expansion ideas. But they're not really fake, they're expansion ideas that I think could happen. Even the pirate one, even though I memed it. But all these are some kind of WoW expansion that I think could happen. And the final one, um, which I am going to talk about some stuff at the end of the video in regards to the leaks going around. But remember, I had plotted a lot of these out weeks ago. Like around the time I started the first video, or I had been talking about it after like my 10.3 video. But this one takes place in a whole new continent. The other two were revamps. I'm going to include some stuff from other ones in here. You'll see where. But yeah, this is the last one. And we got BlizzCon very soon from when I'm filming this. And it will be here before the next lore rant. So the next lore rant will be about all the new stuff we find out. So that will be good. But let's get into it. My final expansion, this one I'm calling World of Warcraft, The Wild Lands. Now this one takes place on a new continent, and you may look at where I'm at here. Yeah, I don't like having that up. Let's take a look. I'm at, like, other than the Azure Mist Isles, I'm like at the most western point on Kalimdor. Feather Moon, Old Feather Moon. And ideally, well, theoretically, we're talking about a sea called the Storming Sea. I will talk about some 10.2 stuff, but this is just a new continent, right? You could be like blah continent at this point. It could be literally called anything. We are calling it Avaloran, though. I am calling it Avaloran, even though I had a theory that Dragon Isles was Avaloran. But we'll have to see. It could just be the new continent. Like, to me, that was the lamest way to introduce Avaloran. I thought it was cool to have this idea that this is what this was originally called. Well, at least to me. But it looks like Avaloran is its own place. Or it may be its own place. We'll have to see. Like I said, we don't know. But this continent is west of Kalimdor, across the Storming Sea, and we're calling it Avaloran. And I want to describe the zones I got. You know, like I said, we'll talk about some stuff later. But one of the things I want, if we're not getting a new class and stuff, and I do want new races, and the ones I picked, of course, Ogre and Broken Draenei. But I'd love to see a whole bunch of customizations. Now, the main thing I brought up in the one is Red Orcs, Fell Totem, Troll Beards, Orc Eyebrows, Upright Undead, Worgen Tails. You know, I wanted the starter zone. The Ogres and the Broken deserve starting zones. Alright, you know, I've talked about that in one of my things. So, even if we're going to a new place, I want them to give us some races to play with. Tuskar. Alright, archaeology returns. We gotta investigate the knowledge of this new area, so we're gonna need archaeology. It should be back. And my basis for this island, I've been thinking on for a while, is Iridikron would escape, and this is where Iridikron would go. And essentially, it's to release the elements plus decay to completely ravage Azeroth, because that's his goal. Could also be Old God related. Alright, because he is Team Void. But I imagined Titan facility that was more, that essentially helped with imprisoning the elements. We know Titans, Old Gods, and Elements had a little kerfuffle. The Elements and the Old God were on the same side. The Titans were on one side. And this is starting to dabble into my Titan conspiracy. But I'm not going to go there right now. We're talking about the expansion. We're going to a new place. We're going to Avaloran. And this is where... Okay, let's look at my notes. Because I wrote this a while back. This is where the Titans infuse Azeroth with spirit and order. More so. Boom. Well, we know spirit is missing. Maybe the Titans took the spirit. Alright, this is called Avaloran's... I called it the Titans' Hidden Secret. Alright. And then... What is that? Okay. So I do have it as its own little island here. Here, you want to see my drawing? Here, let's look at my drawing. Look at this. Avaloran. Ooh, oh my god. Here, I'll even make it bigger. So y'all can see the madness that is my brain. Look at that. I had some actually cool zone ideas, I gotta admit. And then we'll talk about the stuff that came out at the end, like I said. Because that could be spoiler stuff. This is just me riffing, okay? This is all me. Alright, so. We have to have Khazalgar, alright? And we see the primal dwarves, you know. You have a coastal dwarven city. I imagined it mountainous, but not snowy. But it's stormy. Alright? And it's like a long-lost civ. And they just been chilling, dwarven it up, dude. Dwarven over there, dwarven in the air, dwarven underground, dwarven in the mountain. Everything. Alright? And it's funny, because that's literally the when you think of primal dwarves in a way across the stormy sea, I mean that is the first thing that comes to mind. And you'll see in supposed leaks later that may end up being the thing. But here's the thing. In regards to this being a fake leak, that is the first thing you think of when you thought of primal dwarves. If you thought of primal dwarves across the Stormin Sea and you have a griffin, what are you going to think? Mountains, storms, dwarves. Alright. I'm not breaking new ground with this zone. That's all I'm saying. Excuse me. Now, I also have here, I want a new swamp. I want a decay area. We haven't seen the elemental decay. I wanted a decay area. And I imagine, think of Brackenhide, right? Think of Brackenhide area. We got this, oh, why did I leave? We got this little bitty area right here that's Null Swamp. I want a frickin' Nazmir size zone of Null Decay Swamp. Alright? And here, listen up. This place, this continent, or island continent, needs to be the home of the Falcosaurs. Remember, they're an invasive species from Legion. This has to be where they came from. Come on. I talked about it in my pirate one. I want to talk about it here. Where did they come from? We need to find the place. I need to find the place. I want to know. Alright? Now, maybe not here in the swamp, because we'll talk about another area later. New Gremlin. Nulls plus new Gremlin. A new Gremlin. Damn, I had a good idea. A new Gremlin. And the Grell. Remember the Grell? The Grell got to be here. And then I have 11.1 Decay Isle. Yeah, maybe. And, okay, so We kind of had it for Oh my god, we had it for Nazmir. Just the big waterfall into this decaying swamp. It's literally null Nazmir. It's Nazmir 2, okay? Am I bad for wanting Nazmir 2? Alright. But more decay. It's Nullsmere. Alright. Okay, there it is. That summed it up. Okay, and then so in we have my map. So we'd have let's see. How would I here, let's use Pandaria. No. What place would it be like? Hold on. Because I have 5 zones here. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, we'll use Broken Isles. So you'd have the Khazal Gar up this way. No, this ain't gonna work. Alright, so we're over here. We're off in the distance. Alright, we're off in the distance. Imagine we're off in the distance over here. And we'd head over. Here we'll use Pandaria. So we'd have the Khazal Gar zone, the Dwarven zone up in this area. Then we'd head down. Oh my god, it's literally Crescent. So we'd head down into the Decay area as well. But the main quest, so there would be a big river, kind of like this one. But this is what I imagine. So up here would be the primordial jungle. And I want to see Falcosaurs. Big beasts. Long lost Loa. We'll talk about a special one. Like Amazon rainforest. Okay? Like thicker primal all jungle. Zuldazar is close to what I want, but no city. Nothing like that. Just Loa everywhere. And I also want this to be where this long lost green dragon flight group is. Alright? In this primordial jungle. Or if bad things happen to them, maybe they're in the Decay Swamp. But we'll talk about the long lost green flight that was revealed later. I added it to this when I heard about it because I had made this beforehand. And the big Loa in the zone that I really want to see, a sloth Loa. I want the sloth Loa so bad, dude. And that's what I got there. And so it'd be Khazal Gar. Here. Khazal Gar. Decay Swamp. Primordial Jungle. And then there's like this through zone, kind of like Vale here. And then there's this big water zone. I literally likened it to Halong Bay. Like, you know, like the big... it's so hard to describe. Actually, it would kind of be... Actually, if I think about it, it'd kind of look how the Jade Forest looks over here, honestly. That's right, dude. Yeah. So it'd be similar to that. And part of this area would contain a Titan facility. Alright? Because the Titan facility would encompass this zone and the next zone that I'm going to talk about. That would be in the middle. And it's very heavily elementally controlled. So maybe the river would go through here, and then the nice jungle-ish area. It'd be slight jungle, but more like a forest. And then that would also kind of lead into the decayed swamp area. But I'd want to see a lot of elements here, because this is where the Uldaz Titan facility would be. And I'd want to see like a coral reef. Alright? And then in this middle zone, in between the forest, the jungle, and Khazal Gar, I imagine, because remember, I want all the elementals represented here. Maybe Kazalgar would even have a volcano. No, there'd be a volcano in the jungle. The jungle would have a volcano. But I imagine this through area to be like a Grand Canyon. Alright? Which now that I'm thinking about it, like, this does not make sense in structure, but it would be... I just want this kind of variance. Maybe swivel them around. Maybe the jungle, the water area, and the decayed swamp would be all connected, and the Grand Canyon would separate them and Kazalgar. But I want this Grand Canyon-esque zone, this like mesa desert area, and we'd see brand new Titan Keepers. And I would love to see like the cliffs of the Grand Canyons, but with Titan facilities straddled around, studying the elements, studying the wind, studying the water, and then you'd have the volcano area. And in this I'd want to be a little bit of deserty, so maybe you would have to situation it so it's like the storm area, the canyon area, and then the jungle, the water area, jungle, swamp, something like that. But yeah, that's my idea for the Wildlands, Avaloran. And I had 11 ideas. So you'd have offshore, prison for a 5th old god, elements unbound, because I did want this themed. You could have new islands, revamped areas, and I put at the bottom, this is the area where Ridicron and the Void fled, to go to this Titan facility and unleash it. And those were some of the zone ideas I had. I was trying to vary it up, but WoW has a lot of zones, so you have a lot of zones you can pull between. And you may not like the 5 I chose, and Blizz may pick a different 5, but that was my idea for a new area, and I called it World of Warcraft, the Wildlands. And now, for the bonus part of this lore rant. There have been leaks. Alright, so spoilers ahead. I'm going to talk about some 10.2 stuff and these leaks. Supposed leaks. Alright. Wowhead did an article on them. So I'm going to talk about them. Alright, so possible spoilers. If you don't want to see them, now's the time to leave. Alright. Thank you for watching my conspiracy expansion. Alright, I do think there's something going on with the Titans, the elements, and the old gods that the Titans are not telling us the full story about. I'm questioning how that whole thing went down now. But let's get into spoils. Alright, I'm going to do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, boom. Alright, so on 10.2 there's these books. Alright. I did mention them. But let's talk about these books. Alright. So you have a book here on the nature of the dream. It essentially, this book confirms that the Emerald Dream is a part of the Lifelands. AKA the opposite of the Shadowlands. That's why I called it the Lifelands. So, Lifelands confirmed. The realms of life. Alright. Here, I'll read it real quick, because I do want to talk about it. I spent ages here within the Emerald Dream, exploring its reaches, basking in its tranquility. Yet the more I experience, the more what I perceive seems to be at odds with lessons taught to us by the Titan Keepers. Thus, I am compelled to share my feelings here, not to stir discontent or to claim my theories are immutable truths, but to encourage others to ponder these subjects for themselves. Seeking an answer, I have spoken to many spirits who inhabit the dream, dryads, ancients, grove keepers, and others. None of them tell of a titan creating the dream. Instead, they speak of the first spirits awakening long ago within its wilds, in lands as beautiful and free as they are today. Here's the thing. Freya never said she created the Emerald Dream. In the Chronicles, it's still questioned. It's not saying that she did it. Or I'd have to look back in. Alright, but we're going to talk about more about A&R, Freya, and Elune. Instead, they speak of the first spirits awakening long ago within its wilds, in lands as beautiful and as free as they are today. Though I wonder, since time has so little meaning here, whether those born of the dream truly think in terms of past or present. Elune may be a lifelander. We have also been told that the dream is sort of framework for life on Azeroth, and it's true that we see reflections of our world within the dream. Yet while it's clear these realms share a bond, is one a copy of the other, or might both be reflections, each informing the shape of its counterpart? Okay, and this is why we see a Shadowlands of Azeroth. We see the shadow version of Azeroth in some quests, and that may... I feel like that's the biggest reason people had an issue with Shadowlands, because it's so disconnected, and we didn't go to the shadow version of Azeroth. We went to places where spirits go. But there is a shadow Azeroth, as well as there is a life Azeroth. The shadow realm of Azeroth, and there's the green, the Emerald Dream, the life realm. That's what we speculate. Many times I have shrugged off the call of sleep and taken wing to explore the distant reaches of the dream. The farther I flew, the greater the wonders I beheld. Life took forms strange and unfamiliar, bizarre and impossible, plants and trees and creatures unlike any I've beheld before. Oh my god! They started to water walk, like in Zereth Mortis, and like... Impossible! Perhaps the dream is bound not only to Azeroth, but to realms not yet discovered. Is it a reflection of those places too? At these far reaches, I felt the presence of entities whose powers seemed vast and unknowable, akin to the Titans themselves, the Life Lords. I had reached the edges of the dream, where it flows into the realms of life. Are they one and the same? Truly, I cannot say, for as wave of joy and contentment washed over me, I could no longer resist the call of sleep. They went too far out of the zone. I know that on the PTR, you go too far out, you're like... Oop. I woke back at the Eye of Ysera, wondering if I'd experienced a dream within a dream. Inception. It seems clear that the servants of the Titans wish the dream to stay unchanging, at least unchanged by any hands but theirs. True. Yet the very nature of life is one of change, is it not? Things are born, live, and die, but life itself goes on. Perhaps life was never meant to be ordered to be static and unchanging. The Titan servants do not seem to understand that life and death are sisters, bound together in the great cycle. Do they not wish to see this truth, or is it beyond their fundamental nature to perceive it? See, life and death are part of the great cycle, and in the Shadowlands book, they make themselves the center. But that's why I think it's cool. We live in the mortal realm where all six are fighting, and if you think about it, there's 6 elements in our worlds. And then that makes me think... And then for Furum talked about the 7th outside, so it'd be Mortal Plane, 6, and then the 1. Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to it. Do they not wish to see this truth, or is it beyond their... Yeah. If we dragons see it, then it can only mean that we are touched not just by life and order, but other forces as well. Yeah, mortal races can get sprinkled of all the different stuff. I've talked about that before. And if dragons are the product of powers great and small being eternally intertwined, then so must all mortals be. Perhaps Azeroth herself was touched by all these forces, or could she be their true source? Some things are beyond knowing. Some things are meant only to be pondered in dreams. Oh yeah, I'm freaking daydreaming about WoW lore. Alright, the Legend of Alunathir. Oh, this is good. And this is based in Legion lore. Legion set this up. FYI. You'll see. As we gather to defend Emir Drasil, we cannot help but recall the tragic fates of World Tree's past. Those lost to sacrifice, to corruption, to flame. Yet there is an ancient tale. Some claim it merely a legend. The tales of an earlier world tree that also met a sorrowful fate. Though it lived only a short time, its legacy endures. Long before the first dragons drew breath, Azeroth was conquered by writhing horrors that plummeted from the skies and infested our world, the old gods. How long the reign of their black empire lasted we cannot know. Surely it must have been a time of unimaginable suffering. But at long last there came hope. The brave Titan Agrimar discovered Azeroth, shining like a beacon in the great dark. As he gazed upon the beauty and power of its slumbering soul, he realized it was imperiled. He told the other members of the Pantheon how the world they sought had been corrupted by the old gods. The Titans gathered to eradicate this dark influence. Seeking to bring hope and healing, our patron Titan Aenar carried a gift given to her by Elune, a branch of Gahanir, the mother world tree. The Titans believed that the influence of life would drive the darkness away, so she reached down her hand and shaped the soul of Azeroth, planting the branch where it could be fed by rivers and sky. So Elune gave Aenar a branch of Gahanir. Alright. The branch swiftly grew into a tree, its roots extending deep and deep below the surface. Aenar smiled, for everywhere the roots stretched, new life emerged. She called the tree Alunathir, in honor of her great love. So look, Aenar carried a gift given to her by Elune, a branch of Gahanir, the mother world tree. So the mother world tree is in the realms of life. Gahanir, a staff we got in Legion too, is a branch of Gahanir. And Aenar gave it to, or Elune gave it to Elune. Elune gave it to Aenar. Alright. And she planted the branch. Aenar smiled, for everywhere the roots stretched. She called the tree Alunathir, in honor of her great love. Elune. They lesbians. Alright. Deal with it. When Aman'Thul saw what Aenar had done, he chided her. This is not order. He bellowed. You have infected this world with uncontrolled chaos. Alright? It's funny that Aman'Thul's saying that. It's like Agrimar literally had to fight the thing, though. A thing like that, though. Not Aman'Thul. Agrimar's like, if anyone's triggered by trees, it would be Agrimar. It's like, my little baby Gron got beat up by 3 trees. It was so bad. The Highfather took hold of the world tree's trunks and tore it from the earth. Aman'Thul constantly Yo! What if it wasn't Yasharaz that was pulled from here? What if it wasn't Yasharaz that was pulled from here? No, it had to be because there's panda stuff. Yo, Aman'Thul just loves ripping stuff out of the planet, though. Oh, y'all did y'all see where I was pointing? The Maelstrom, man. Oh, man. He just loves pulling stuff out. Anar wept bitter tears that rained down upon the resulting crater. But as she peered down upon the sundered earth, tears into a resulting crater. The Well of Eternity? But as she peered down upon the sundered earth, the Titan realized the truth she did not share with the High Father. Dude, Anar is on a different side, dude. Though he had destroyed the tree, its winding roots still held firm beneath the soil, hidden from Aman'Thul's gaze. As the forces of the Titans waged war against the Black Empire, Anar bid her keeper Freya to watch over the crater and nurture life that blossomed there. Below ground, the roots fed upon the tears of Anar and grew strong. The war was long, but in the end, the Titans claimed victory, and Anar was pleased knowing Elun's legacy would endure. It is said that much later, as the world entered a new age, mysterious guardians arrived who dedicated their lives to protecting the roots. But that is a tale for another time. Now let us stand with our allies to defend Amyrdrasil, Crown of Harmony. Together we preserve this symbol of hope, this symbol of the future. Okay. Mysterious guardians arrived who dedicated their lives to protecting the roots. And it's a crater. So here's the thing. When this was first mentioned, people thought, yo, Ungoro crater. And I gotta say something. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's a new place. Reason being, what is in the middle of Ungoro? What is tearing up the roots? If this is where it is, there are no new mysterious guardians. There's a volcano in the middle, which is where the tree would have been. I don't think it's Ungoro. People said Sholazar. The mysterious new guardians could be the Gorloks and that, you know, River's Heart. You can see how there could have been a tree here. Alright. It would have been planted kind of close to Yogg, but not as close to Cthulhu as the one. Could it have been the Veil? Maybe. But my bet would be that's a new zone. I know y'all couldn't see all the stuff I was doing on the map. But yeah, so Sholazar, people have thought. I'm not a fan of that theory. Doesn't seem... I feel like that theory fits better than Ungoro, because Ungoro literally has a big volcano that has something to do with phoenixes too, apparently. So I doubt Ungoro. I doubt Sholazar. I think this would be a new area. And other spots that Freya cares about. Hyjal. Not a crater. The Zandalari mountain range. Still not a crater unless we're talking about this. Tortolan protect the root? No. So I think it's talking about a new area. So that would be in the new zone. Alright. Let's get back to it though. So that's my thoughts on that. Alright. And now the final one. And then I'm going to show some stuff about the seas. In days where the kingdoms of dragons was young, brave Erinithria emerald ringed soared above the clouds. The fastest flyer of her day, she feared no enemy, nor was she back down from any challenge. Alas, her courage would be her undoing. Erythrea had flown to the far corners of Kalimdor and back. Far corners of Kalimdor and back. So we're probably talking about Big Kalimdor. Alright? Ancient Kalimdor. The whole... everything. Alright, she had witnessed wondrous sights and loved to share stories with them, of them with her kin. Yet came a day when Arinthria felt that as she had seen all there was to see of the world, she grew bored, restless. Arinthria sought the wisdom of Keeper Tyr, who's in the pocket of Big Titan. Great Keeper, is there any mysteries left for me to discover? Any riddle yet to be solved? Tyr's like, everything you need is here, child. What more could you want to see? What else could you seek to know? As the dragon's brow furled, a cool wind blew from the west. Wind. The breeze, Great Keeper. I wish to see a place from whence the winds are born. Elements. Tyr grew solemn. Beyond the storming sea lies only ruin. Stay close to home, stay close to kin. Order, 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 order. Tyr's warnings hung like a shadow over Arinthria's heart. In storm, more elements, it clashed again and again with her deep yearning for answers. One bright morning, the green dragon bid farewell to her clutchmates. Fear not, she told them, for I can fly higher than any storm, faster than any thunder, and when I know from whence the west winds come, I shall return home and tell you all. And with that, Arinthria soared into the sky. Moons passed, and still more. Yet brave Arinthria did not return. Even Ysera woke from her dreaming to aid in the search, but there was no sign to be found. Most believed that Arinthria was lost to the storming sea, that her mighty wings grew tired and torn by harsh winds, and that she tumbled into the roiling waters. But some Greens claimed that they saw her in their dreams, that she reached a land beyond, where she raised a brood of her own. Surely after all these ages we must accept the truth of her loss. While we honor her courage, we must remember the wisdom she failed to heed. She didn't listen to Tyr. Beyond the storming sea lies only ruin. Stay close to home, stay close to kin. Beware, beware. The wind from the west, it calls, holds only doom. For if you take wind across the storm and sea, you shall share Arinthria's tomb. Or the Titans are liars! Oh my god. They're hiding something. So, I brought up seas on WoW. Oh, this is the wrong one. Hold on, I pulled up the wrong one. Alright, FYI, we need to be using... This is a good video to talk about this. We need to be using this one. It's hard for me to search it up. WoW Wiki is back. WoW Wiki is back. So use WoW Wiki. This is a perfect video to talk about that. Instead. Now. Good for them. But yeah, so the seas. I was looking up the seas. Because I'm like, where is this freaking storming sea? We got the Veiled Sea. We got the South Sea, which is here. The Frozen Sea, the North Sea. And then the Forbidding Sea. So the storming sea could be down this way. Over this way. Most likely. It could be down this way. But she wanted to go for the west wind. So it's most likely going to be out this way. Or over here. But yeah. That's why I added the green dragon stuff. Because I wrote this up. Right? I wrote this all up. And then that came out, and I was like, I'll put her right over here. That was like perfect. Then the Khazal Gar stuff came out, and I made that the main thing. That was a little bit beforehand. But yeah, dude, I'm excited. If we're going to a new zone, I think it's going to be heavily elemental based, Titan secret test facility, and that's part of my theory for what we're going to see at BlizzCon. So you saw my fake expansions, now you saw my theories, and we're going into BlizzCon. I'm ready. Next lore rant is going to be about what we freaking see and what extra I can add, what extra I think is going to go on, because there's going to be stuff we learn, and there's going to be questions, and I can't wait to see. So I'm excited. I'm pumped for BlizzCon. I hope y'all are excited. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.